Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, November 22nd, 2018. I'm Keith Tebow. The certification process is about to begin to determine if a recall election will be held for Mayor Jazel Correa. St. Anne's Church will hold its final Mass this Sunday, and the Bristol County Chamber of Commerce is urging residents to shop locally this holiday season. We'll have those and other stories coming up in just a bit. But first, as we do each week, we check in with the news headlines of the week. The news editor, Will Richmond, is off this week, so we're pleased to be joined by the editor-in-chief at the Herald News, Lynn Sullivan. Lynn, welcome. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Couple of items this week, the ongoing saga between the city of Fall River and what used to be the Fall River Economic Development, FROED, now the Bristol County Economic Development Consultants. Last week, the Redevelopment Authority, in what some people are calling a hastily organized meeting, at the end of their meeting decided to sort of cut off the contract between the city, the Redevelopment Authority, and the BCEDC, citing cause on a number of issues. This sort of came up all at once, and in effect, it terminated the contract with the organization. You know, it was really confusing for a lot of people, and it looks like that the Executive Vice President of the organization, Ken Fiola, will be looking at options for the organization moving forward, including maybe even suing the city over this, what happened on Friday. Yeah, your thoughts, Lynn. Yeah. So what do you think?
I mean, it did seem like a strange meeting if you watch the video. Personally, I mean, if I were being fired or removed from my job, I would appreciate the opportunity to sort of say my piece or at least answer some of the questions or accusations that my boss would be bringing forward. So it does feel kind of weird that they didn't do that. I'm not saying, I mean, if something is done wrong or if you know the proper procedures haven't been followed, that's fine. That's their right to sever that contract. But it does feel a little strange to do it without at least giving Ken Fiola the chance to speak. Yeah,
well, one of the things, and I meant to clarify this, is that, you know, normally Ken Fiola represents the BCEDC at these meetings, but he was away on vacation last week, and he actually had notified the board and said that he would like to be able to chime in remotely, either via a phone call or FaceTime or some other electronic means. And the board on last Friday decided not to do that. So he did tell the board that he was willing to take part in the meeting last week to answer any questions they may have. And I believe, Lynn, if I hear what Mr. Fiola has said, he's still going to be providing information on some of the questions that the board had last week. Is that correct?
That's what it sounds like. And I mean, I suppose I would too, at least in the court of public opinion, you want to say, at least have your say in this. So it does sound like that. It does feel kind of strange in today's day and age when almost anything can be done remotely, that they weren't able to set something up. And I do know, I think there are a number of individuals and organizations that are sort of trying to see if this is a violation of open meeting laws. So. Right.
And, you know, I believe the contract between the Redevelopment Authority and the BCDEC actually is set to expire, I believe, next summer. So there was a good chance that this may not have been renegotiated next year. And with the Redevelopment Authority looking at hiring its own economic development director, I guess some would say that this would be maybe a fait accompli anyway next year. But it is surprising that it happened so quickly on Friday, I guess. That's what a lot of people are talking about, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if something was done improperly or done wrong by the BCEDC, then fine. I mean, the RDA can sever that contract. That's not a big deal. It just feels weird to do it without at least giving the head of the organization a chance to answer some questions.
Right. All right, we'll continue to follow that as this story progresses. Another story, sort of a feel-good story in many ways, was again the city working in conjunction with a number of organizations held a Guns for Groceries event last week where nearly 200 firearms were turned in Fall River, and there was also a similar event held in New Bedford where people can turn in their guns, no questions asked, and they would receive a gift certificate to shop at some local grocery stores. Whenever I see this, Lynn, one of the questions I have is that there are a lot of firearms in our communities. Many of them, apparently these people who turn them in have no need for them any longer, but to have nearly 200 turned in, that's kind of an alarming number.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was a good split between handguns and sort of the long guns.
Right.
But I know, I mean, I think that it was a great way to honor Reverend Lawrence's memory.
Right.
I think, I could imagine he would have been very pleased with the outcome and getting these guns sort of off the street. Because even if somebody just has it in their home and they, haven't used it for years and years, what if they get robbed? What if somebody comes in and takes
Right.
these weapons? You don't want. I would hate to have that on my conscience. So I think it's a great idea. You go in, you get your gift card for groceries. No harm, no foul. And then, like you said, they didn't. No questions asked. It was just bring it in. We don't care. We don't want to know. Just give it to us. And I know Representative Sylvia mentioned some of the handguns at least had the serial numbers filed off. So it makes you wonder,
Right.
Were they used in a crime or were they planned to use in a crime or something? So, it's great. I think it's great that they got them off the street.
As you mentioned Reverend Robert Lawrence, who passed away this fall. He actually spearheaded this what turned out to be sometimes an annual event all the way back over 20 years in terms of asking local residents to turn in their guns, to get them off the streets, so they are not a problem for public safety officials. So again in memory of Dr. Lawrence, this was continued again this year, and a lot of people benefited by getting these gift cards, and in perfect time for the holiday season. So a good event, definitely. All right, Lynn, what's coming up over the next few days at the paper?
Well, we've got our Thanksgiving Day football games, including one tonight that got moved up just because the weather tomorrow is supposed to be so cold. So
Right.
Diamond is playing tonight.
Right.
And then we've got Durfee playing New Bedford tomorrow. We've got Somerset playing Case tomorrow. So our sports guys will definitely be warmed up. We've definitely got some coverage of some of the the free meals that are prepared by such, an amazing group of dedicated volunteers. And we like to highlight their efforts. And then, of course, on Friday, I guess, the Christmas shopping season kicks off really with Black Friday. So we'll be covering that. And then, of course, as you mentioned before, St. Anne's Church closes after Mass on Sunday. So we've got another piece on Sunday sort of looking at the church and some of the things people may not realize are there. And so Deb Allard has been doing a great job of covering that whole story. So.
All right, Lynn, thank you for joining us. Thank you for pinch hitting for Will, and we'll talk again soon. Have a great weekend.
Okay.
Great holiday. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
We'll have more FRC Media News after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Substance Abuse Counselor, Acadia Healthcare, located at 22 Front Street, is seeking a full-time substance abuse counselor to provide counseling, treatment, support, and assist patients in their recovery from addictions and behavioral problems. Job number 114-27964. Systems Software Engineer Interns, Innovative Defense Technologies, located at 10 North Main Street, is in need of full-time Systems Software Engineer interns to utilize their knowledge and talents as part of a paid internship, developing innovative automated solutions for a growing company. Job number 114-30979. Pharmacy Technician, Rite Aid, located at 933 Pleasant Street, is looking for a part-time pharmacy technician responsible for the day-to-day operations of the pharmacy and the care and service provided to customers and patients. Job number 114-28818. South Coast Healthcare, located at 300 Hanover Street, is looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Medical Lab Technician, job number 114-30328. registered nurse, job number 11430329. Blount Fine Foods, located at 630 Current Road, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions. Material handler, job number 11412049. Warehouse associate, job number 114-12027. For more information on these or other positions, visit masshirejobquest.detma.org or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000. Christmas is coming, and FRC Media has a weekly rundown of events taking place in the city. Here are some of the events you can enjoy in Fall River the first week of December. On Saturday, December 1st, the 34th Annual Children's Christmas Parade steps off from Kennedy Park at 1 p.m., rain or shine. It's one of the largest parades of its type in New England and will include festive decorated floats, giant balloons, marching groups, high school bands from throughout the region, bagpipe bands, characters in costume, and of course, Santa and Mrs. Claus. Enjoy holiday fun and free food with the whole family on Sunday, December 2nd at Greater Fall River Recreation's annual holiday celebration. Activities will include pictures with Santa, face painting, and more. This event will take place from 12 to 3 p.m. at 45 Rock Street. Admission is free. Also on December 2nd, the Newport Navy Choristers perform their 41st annual Christmas in Song concert at First Baptist Church, starting at 4 o'clock p.m. The music will range from traditional holiday songs to classical works and is sure to put you in the Christmas spirit. A donation of $5 to help local community feeding ministries is requested. The church is located at 228 North Main Street. On Monday, December 3rd, the 8th Annual North Pole Live will be broadcast live from 5 to 6 p.m. in Fall River Community Media's television studio. The program features Santa and Mrs. Claus, seasonal entertainment from the Children's Museum of Greater Fall River and the Fall River Public Library, and refreshments. Admission is free. You're invited to attend in person or to call in and talk to Santa at 508-730-3222. The location is room H101 in the Jackson Arts Center at Bristol Community College's Fall River campus at 777 Ellsbury Street.
Welcome back. The Fall River Board of Elections is gearing up to certify nearly 6,000 signatures collected by a group wanting to recall Mayor Jazel Correa. The deadline to submit the petitions ended this past week, and according to City Clerk Allison Bouchard, the number of petition sheets submitted totaled 78.
That brings the total petitions submitted to 198.
How many signatures is that?
The petitions contain enough space for 40 signatures, but just thumbing through them as I counted them, some of the petitions had a lot of blanks. Some had a lot of blanks, some were, they may have been blank in the front, but the whole back was full, so I can't really guess at how many signatures in total. It varies, but they weren't completely full with 40 signatures on each page.
I heard that they believe the recallers got approximately 6,000.
Yeah, that's the total that I'm hearing. That I think they've checked their signatures against some voter information that they received through the elections department, and I thought they had somewhere roughly between 5,800 and 6,000.
And that's triple the amount they need.
Right, but they're anticipating that all of those signatures will be certified, and that's not necessarily the case. But they certainly are. They should get more than what is required, which is the 2,510.
The last Mass at St. Anne's Church in the south end of Fall River will take place this Sunday. This after the announcement from Bishop Edgar Acuna that the diocese cannot afford expensive repairs to the aging structure, nor are there enough parishioners to support it. We asked diocesan spokesman John Kearns what that last Mass will entail.
Bishop D'Acunha has asked the parish administrator, Father David Destin, to work with a committee of parishioners to plan that Mass. So it reflects their interests and their wants for what will be a sad day, obviously, for all of them. It's a grand history, there's no doubt about it. The parish has been there, I think, since 1869. The building was dedicated in 1906. It's a landmark, it's an icon, and hopefully it will remain there, perhaps in service in another way to the people of Fall River.
After Black Friday shopping is done, Fall River residents are urged to take advantage of free bus transportation in the city to continue shopping locally. Here's more.
We got Small Business Saturday coming up, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Spend your money locally, spend your money with the chamber members. It's an important day. It's a great kickoff to the holiday season, and we're looking forward to it. We're partnering with FRCMedia and the South Coast Chamber as well. On that Small Business Saturday, they have there's free buses all throughout the region to take you to all the local businesses. It's going to be a great day.
Hi, Ian Abreu at the South Coast Chamber, Business Development Director, and I want to talk to you about shopping small, shopping local, especially on Small Business Saturday, which is the day after Thanksgiving. Did you know that 60 cents on every dollar when you spend it locally is reinfused back into our local economy? Think about that, folks. Support our small mom and pop businesses and stimulate the economy.
Yeah, what do you say to the folks who want to shop online?
Shop online? Put that aside. Let's support our local folks. Let's help our local business owner. Let's help them reinfuse that back into the local economy. This is the heartbeat of America. It's the heartbeat of our region. Please think of supporting our wonderful downtowns in New Bedford and Fall River, and not only in New Bedford and Fall River, but throughout the entire South Coast, from Seekonk to Wareham. Come on down, shop heavy, but shop local and shop small. Thank you.
From the second floor window of Government Center in Fall River, residents and visitors can get to enjoy a display of art created by the hands of self-proclaimed late-in-life artist Claire Tremblay.
Actually, I start my paintings by stretching my own canvas, putting together the bare essentials. I consider those skeletons. Then I prime it, getting it ready for the paint, which is the soul and the skin of the work that I'm producing. I try to work in minimal colors to allow each color to come out in its own different values and shades and shapes, defining what the final product is.
How did you come to have them hung here?
Thanks to the Fall River Art Association and Carolyn Hall, who saw this space and visualized that paintings should be brought up here. And then to be seen from the street, not having to climb up the stairs or whatever, through the windows, they can tell the story.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Brandy. She is a 12-year-old Jack Russell. Don't let her age fool you, because she's still very, very playful and active. She loves to go for walks, and she really does like to play. She does get along with other dogs, and she also does good with children. So if you want to come down and meet her, she would love that. She loves making new friends. So come down and meet Brandy at Forever Paws. We are located at 300 Linwood Street, Fall River.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have something a little bit different. We've got our 4 female rats down here. They're just 14 weeks old now. Very, very good little pets. Much better than most people end up giving them credit for. I I know when I was a child, I kept mice and rats as pets, and quite frankly, I had hamsters too. They made better pets than the hamsters. You don't think of them as the cleanest, but they were actually cleaner than all the hamsters that I had. They're very good little guys. Because of their age, they're still young. They're still very handleable. They haven't picked up any bad habits, and they can be with you for a while. So if you'd like to meet these guys, come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
While there are 1,600 youth courts in the United States, there are only 2 in Massachusetts, and one is right here in Fall River. Director Nina Souza explains that young people who get caught and admit to petty crimes can avoid a criminal record if their cases are brought to youth court.
Youth Court's a diversion program, which means that we take first-time offenders for misdemeanor crimes and status offenses. They are referred to us by the police department, the school department, and sometimes directly from the DA's office when they go to court. And they go through a hearing process, which is where the name Youth Court comes from, which is where the training piece kind of comes in. The hearings are done by high school students, and I make some exceptions for some college-age students. We go through a training process and learn how to litigate the cases. And so the respondents who are sent to the program go through the training. They have their own attorneys, which are the high school students, and they also have the opposing counsel, which would be the prosecution, representing the referring party. And they're given a set of sanctions. So those sanctions are community service, how many hours is up to the jury, and they are given after-school programming, jury duty if they're over 12, they have to come back and serve on the jury, just like we do. They go through a process. Essays, apologies, research projects, things like that, or referrals for mental health services if they need it. My staff come into play because they're the ones that do all that with the kids. So our staff actually do the community service projects. They design and implement the projects. So it's not something where you come in, you get 10 hours, go do it, and come back. They are with us. Majority of these kids are with us for approximately 10 to 15 hours a week, depending on how many sanctions they actually have.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can watch FRC Media News Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. and get all of our stories online at 24/7 at frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.